We have the privilege and pleasure of having Will at Mighty Youth Day. And I tell you, that guy was everywhere. He was playing with everybody, staying up late, singing, playing, having fun, and spreading that ukulele spirit. We're so looking forward to having him first time at that festival. And unfortunately, he had passed just a couple days. So we really miss his spirit and his joy of the ukulele. And I tell you, it's deep to the core in our hearts. So, Will, rest in aloha. I know you're playing that ukulele there somewhere. We've got a special song for you and the teaching staff at Midwest together in tribute for you. I hope you all enjoy.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I know for me, it's just really nice to be with people who also loved Will. So thank you for being here for each other. I met Will at a ukulele event a couple of years ago, so I've known him much less time than most of you. But we were instant friends, and we became close very quickly. Will, as you know, was very easy to love. He loved people so much, more, I think, than people even know that he loved them. Sorry. I watched him weep over friends he lost, and I watched him give of his time and energy, even when he had none to spare for himself, to other people when they needed him. It was always really important for him to support other people in their time of need. And many people have written me over the last few weeks and told me stories of ways that he reached out to them when they needed someone, and he was that someone for them. Including my mom when she lost her brother, and in the time leading up to that, he really supported her in a way that I can never repay him for. He loved people truly, and that's one of the things that drew me to him as a friend. I didn't know him during his military service, but I know that he served 25 years of his life for our country and for his fellow service members. That was the same spirit of serving and caring for others that he lived his entire life with. I knew many things about Will, but if there was one thing that stood out the most, it was that he loved his kids. I mean, most people love their kids, but this guy took it to a whole nother level. I never saw him happier or prouder than when he would tell me about one of their accomplishments or a sweet moment that he had with one of them. His love was so abundant and overflowing for them that I had to love them even before I even met them. And they're all just as sweet as he told me. You guys are going to have some really hard times ahead. This isn't fair that you lose your dad so young. I'm so sorry. You're going to miss him incredibly much, especially at certain times in your life, milestones and such, that you want nothing more in the world than to have him with you. And I promise he wanted that more than anything. He even put it in writing to me. If anything can be done, he said, do whatever it takes to keep me here. And his reason was one thing. He said, I want to see my kids grow up. He told me that all the time. He did also believe, though, that even if something like this were to happen, that he would still be with you in spirit. And he asked me to ask you to think of him in those moments and look for his spirit and feel his presence, because he said he would be there with you. He told me to tell you that today. For me, Will was my best friend. But in the beginning, he suggested that maybe I shouldn't be, because when he realized we were becoming close, quickly he opened up and told me about all his problems, especially his medical problems. And he told me, you may not want to invest in me because you probably won't have me as a friend as long as you think or might want. It wasn't the only time he said things like that. He was worried about leaving people like this and the pain that he knew that we would feel. Back in October, this last October, he told me one day that he was really sad thinking about me, watching our videos, looking through photos, and listening to voice messages that he sent me and said, after I'm gone, he said, "You'll be crying." I'm just so sad thinking about that. I assured him at that time that whenever it happened, hopefully a very, very long time from then, that it all would have been worth it. That I promised I would be grateful for every minute that we had together, and I didn't want to miss any of it. But he was worried, and I really think that that's one of the reasons why he didn't let a lot of people get really close to him, because he didn't want people to hurt them. The week that I met Will, I heard a song for the first time called "Grateful" by Justin Kavika Young. It was played at a concert or ukulele festival we both were attending. The lyrics of that song go, "And if it's 10 years or 2 or a lifetime with you, I'll just be grateful for what I got." And later on in the song, it says, "Proof is in the pain of all the love that we gave." I think Will did try to save people from some of that pain. He didn't want us to feel this way. It hurts, but now I have to live up to that promise I made him. I am grateful. It wasn't enough, but it wasn't ever going to be enough. I would have always wanted one more day, one more time. But I'm so grateful for what I did get. And I wouldn't give up a single moment for anything. And I hope that each of you treasure your unique and beautiful memories with him just as much as I do. Before some other people speak, they've made a really nice slideshow of some photos from Will's life. And it's set to that song called "Grateful."
someday we say that love goodbye. Proof is in the pain, all the love we gave. Before the last rain, oh goodbye. And if it's 10 years or two, for a lifetime with you, I'll just be grateful for what I've got. When I'm in this way, all the rest of our days, I'll be grateful for what I've got.
Sorry, I tried all week to write something down, and I just couldn't seem to put anything that really displayed how I felt on paper. So I'm just gonna kind of wing it. But if I could have one more chance to hug and tell my dad I love him, I would. I want to so bad. I have so many regrets, but so many moments that I cherish. Somewhere along the way, our communication fell apart a little bit. But the thing with him, he always cared enough to reach out, and he would always be the first one to make the move to be in contact with me. And I just wish I could go back and just I wish I could just go back and just sorry. Put a little bit more effort into those trips, and I appreciate every single thing he did for us. I remember every iteration of this family, and I love every moment of my time with him. My earliest memories that I can remember is when he first met my stepmom, Jessica. And I just wanted to be around them more, so I would sleep on the edge of their bed. And he would play the entire Is album for me to go to sleep too. So whenever I hear those songs, you really make me think of him a lot. My dad was a man of many hats, and he always did what he could for a lot of people. He raised 8 beautiful kids, and I love every one of you guys. And all the memories I have with all of us. I think more and more and more about just my childhood with him. And there's so many good memories. And I'm 32 now, but I still feel like I'm just a little kid. And without him, I don't really know where I'm off to next. But everything he did, he put us first. When I was a teenager, of course, I went through that phase where I wanted to get out of the house, and I thought I knew better than everybody. And I wish I could tell him he was right about everything. I wish I listened a little bit more. Wish I called him more. And I was just really hoping that in the next 10 years we could sit down over a beer and kind of come full circle. I love my dad very much. And I just hope that I could be as strong and successful as him, raising 8 kids, going through marriages, and still being able to take care of everybody and everything. It's Superman to me. He is a little bit of a man of mystery. Growing up, me and my friends would always joke and say that he was like James Bond or something. But I just hope that all our family comes together and we cherish what he's left for us. Not a day goes by when I don't think about him, and I appreciate everybody being here and all the connections she's made. I think a lot of my music background stems from just little things he's kind of planted in my head as a kid. Probably talk for hours, but I just want to thank all of you guys, and happy to see all my sisters and brother here. I care about all of you guys. If you need anything, I'm around. Thank you.
So I don't think anyone else has said that they're going to speak. Sue, did you want to? Okay, so if you want to, you're going to be able to. who's going to come up next, and then is there anyone else that wanted to speak?
You know, when you're saying about your conversations, you know, you thought you knew it all, what have you. Boy, did I have to listen to that. And I told him he's being a normal kid. Then something with the girls, and I'm like, that's what you go through. And you only got this many more times to go through it. They're just being kids. I was blessed to only have boys. But he loved you guys, hands down. He didn't let too many people in and see pictures of you or anything like that. And he would send me, you know, a picture every once in a while. The twins, he was like, oh my. And I'm like, yeah, oh my. You done did it this time. You and Jessica, y'all didn't. Y'all have fun with that. But he loved you guys. And yes, your music did stem from him, your ability. And I think he hit it when I guess you got a paying gig on something on Facebook or something to that. He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. I was like, well, and I know that, you know, because of his, you know, the ukulele and this, that, and the other. But, and something you guys need to understand is, Will, take any chance he got on my nerves. He got on my last nerve. And you'd think he'd leave it alone. Oh, no. No. The reason I know that you have the musical gene from him is because I was complaining about neighborhood kids when they get the recorders in class. I don't know if you guys do the most god-awful, annoying sound. Well, Mr. Wonderful here decided he could play Led Zeppelin on it and called me and played it. Gee. So, honey, yeah, that's where you got it from. Please don't call me with it. Please. I remember little Hannah. She was a very serious young girl. She was taken to the emergency room for one reason or another, and your dad and his camera. I can only imagine what it was like being one of the kids. Just saying, taking a picture of her and sending it, and she's just looking like. I was like, leave her alone. You're in the emergency room. She doesn't want her picture taken. What do you want her to do? Smile? Will was always the polite one, and me not so much. We were so polar opposites, and I guess that's where our friendship came from. He swears up and down I punched him in his stomach in 10th grade. I didn't. I just let him believe that. He said it was in PE. He was so smart. Like he could sit down and do a test without studying. And it's an A. And then make fun of the rest of us who didn't. And it's like, well, I'm sorry. But on the same token, he was very naive in other ways. You know, and maybe that's where, you know, I came in a little bit. It's like, stop it. Stop. You can't save the world. As much as he wanted to, he couldn't. You're going to see your dad in many, many, many different ways. You're going to see your brother. You're going to see your husband. And for everybody else, in one way or another. Typically, I was outside talking to Mr. Longboy, and a bumblebee kept buzzing around my head until I hit it and made it leave. Don't forget the good. Just don't. They say that time heals all wounds. it's that in between from it happening. But I'm here. If any of you need me, don't give up. Make it. You have a lot of aunties and uncles and people here who at the drop of a hat. That, as much as I wanted to, I said on Facebook that given the opportunity, I would kick his casket because he irritated me. And he did this on purpose. But I won't because a lot of you may not understand. But love him, remember him, and stay strong. Okay?
Hello. I'm Freddie, his eldest brother. Our other brother Henry's here, and we're here with our families. Just want to thank you all for coming out and making this celebration of life a special day for. I'll call him Wilbur. I know most of you know him as Will.
Stand here where life's changing.
I know you. Most of you know him as Will, but we'll always know him as Wilbur. So I'll be referring to him as Wilbur. But again, thank you all. I know people came here. Even the people in California had to drive a long way at least. We got people here from all over the country. We have one person here from Latvia, one of his classmates from Narbonne High School. Again, thank you for all your kind consideration in coming out here. To his wife, Jessica, and their kids, Hannah, Sarah, Alexis, Erica, Nathan, and Natalia. I got them all. And to his older kids, Dylan and Sydney. As you've heard, he loved you all very much. He wanted to give you everything. But I especially want to thank Cynthia, Landon, and Sue Zawecki. Without them, we couldn't make this happen. His last wishes were to be buried near our death here, and that cost. It was a lot to bring him over here from Oklahoma, and to bring his family who were coming from everywhere. From Oklahoma, we had 2 kids in college from Hawaii. We had 1 living in Florida, and thanks to Cynthia and Sue, they were able to raise enough money, to make this happen, to make his final wish come true. Thank you, Dad. And I know he touched a lot of worlds here. Just by show of hands, who are here are relatives, family, uncles, aunties, cousins. Thank you for coming. I know you all came from a long way too. Northern California, and from the LA basin. Thank you for coming. And Maryland. I see you. Thank you all for coming. Now, who here? I know there's a lot here from high school. High school or younger. Yeah. And then there's people here from his career in the Air Force, medical career or others. One of my old classmates from college. Thank you all for coming. Just remember, he touched a lot. Oh, ukulele group. Raise your hands. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. Again, these were all he had a hand in every one of these worlds, and he touched everyone. So I just want to kind of impart to everybody here to think about this celebration of life. Think about all these people that he touched in all the different worlds, and then think about how he touched you. Keep that in your memory. And for the children, like Cynthia was saying, he'll be here for all your milestones. Graduations, weddings, babies. Just remember, he's here with you. You'll see that. I think that's it for me. Thank you again for coming.
don't really know where to start. Um, I could always go to my dad for everything, like financial or about school or boys. I don't really know who I'll be able to ask anything now that he's gone. Um, all of us didn't really get along like perfectly, but um, we always knew that we still loved each other very much. If we fought, we would always come back and make up right after. Um, I know he touched a lot of people's lives and put himself out there, and I'm just glad that everyone has had the opportunity to for him to help them build up. Um, when I was younger, he would always tell me that he loved us very much, and he always wanted to be there for us for everything. Um, one time he told me that he dreamed of walking me down the aisle, and he won't be able to. Um, I know he had a lot of dreams, and I know he accomplished most of them. But he's also told me that um, he wanted to be there our whole lives and see us grow old and get married. I know we can make it. It'll take us a rough start, but he was really the rock in our family. He was a bit messy, um, but he always knew what to do, even if we didn't. And now that he's gone, we're gonna be a bit lost, but together we can find our way. He would want us to move on. He wouldn't want us to give up on anything. He would want us to keep going and fulfill our life like he did. And for me, I know he would want me to finish college and get a nice job and stuff. Same for all of my other siblings. And my mom wouldn't want you to give up on us. I know he hopes that you can forgive him for the things that he's done. Just know that he loved us all very much, even though we had a hard time showing it. And I know he knows that. I just hope that one day I'll get to see him again. I know he would want us to keep going. Wouldn't want this to drag us down. like a lot of my siblings, I do regret not calling him much. I would only call him if I needed help with something instead of just to talk to him. And I wish I had just one more day to say that I love him, even though I don't say it. But I knew he knew that. I think that's all that I have to say. I just know that he wouldn't want us. He would want us to keep going. That's all I know for now.
We have a few recorded messages from friends, mostly that couldn't be here. One of his best friends is in Ireland and tried very hard to get back but couldn't, so he recorded a message. Before that, though, I know some of you don't know about Will's ukulele playing. I know some of you know all about it, but I put a video in here that he and I recorded last September when we were going to the LA Uke Fest. He wanted to do an open mic for the first time, and I hadn't done one either. So he said, let's do it together so we can both be nervous together. And so the night before we did that, we recorded our practice session. And so I was going to play that. So in case you have never heard him play and sing, that you would at least get a chance to see that now. And then after that video, there's some recorded messages from some people who
I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen something that a heart would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought that I'd see you again. Before you were down upon me, Jesus, got to tell me things again. Look out to see you again. My body's aching and my time is aching. I won't make it any other way. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days and I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought I'd see you. Been walking my mind to an easy time. My back turns towards the sun. Lord knows the cold wind blows, it'll turn me. And sounds of time on the telephone line. Drop my heart Lonely times, but I could not find a friend. But I always thought I'd see you one more time.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tim. I have the great privilege of being one of Will's close friends from our time stationed together at Andy's Air Force Base. I wish more than anything that I could be there with all of you today in person to celebrate Will's remarkable life. Fortunately, I'll be out of the country, and with just a few days' notice, was unable to change my travel plans. But I want you all to know that I am going to be there in spirit. I want you to know, Will, that I will come down there and visit you as soon as I can. And Will, I want to tell you something I've never told you before. When I first met you, I really didn't like you. Just arrived at my first TV station. I was exhausted. I was overwhelmed. Quite frankly, annoyed that the Air Force only gave me 4 days to pack all my belongings to move from Connecticut to DC. I was very disappointed and confused and still in shock of being in the military. I remember when I first met you on the second day of my arrival. You introduced yourself as Will, and we exchanged pleasantries, and you started talking about how I could get my access to my computer. Asked me when I would start seeing patients, and I just thought to myself, man, can I just put down my bags first? I really didn't think, I really didn't think we were going to be as good friends as we were. And at that time, I didn't know how I was going to survive 4 years in the military in that environment. But as it turns out, I did. And I survived it because of you. As you know, and as I got to know you, I realized that, at that time, you weren't trying to crack the whip and make me work. It was more helping out of genuine kindness. The same kindness that I've seen you give to everyone else over the years. I will always remember our time in the internal medicine clinic very fondly. All the lunches we had together. I remember we'd always eat at that horrible Chinese buffet behind Andrews Air Force Base. That place always gave me heartburn. I don't know why we always went there, but and I think I got VA disability for that after Another time I remember us going out to lunch, kind of just driving around Virginia, and we came upon this military gate and had no idea where we were because we were lost. Turns out it was some top secret military base. And despite being in full, the bulk of it being in full military uniform, the guard was very skeptical and pulled us to the side and interrogated us why we're there. I guess the simple "we got lost" wasn't good enough for them. Till this day, I still don't know what was behind those gates, and I don't even know if it's still there, honestly. When I was deployed to Afghanistan, you were pretty much the only one that really I kept in touch with. You always gave me the lowdown on how horrible the clinic was and how lucky I was to be in Afghanistan despite all that rockets flying over my head. Back then, I was single, no family. Most of my immediate family was in California. So you were my family. I'll always remember that. And, well, you've always been there through every major chapter of my life. Marriage, kids, even when I left the military, starting in the civilian world. You were always there giving me great advice, support. Your steady presence was always reassuring. You were a great mentor, teacher, a brother. Or more than anything, you were just a great friend to me. Even after the military, I always looked forward to visiting Southern California because I knew you were there. And, you know, for a few years you lived in Southern California, and I would go visit you like once a year. Then you moved to Oklahoma, and it made it a little bit harder, but we always kept in touch. I will always cherish those moments. Our country owes you a debt it can never repay. You could have gone to many medical schools. You could have had such an easy and prestigious life as a civilian, but instead you choose to serve. You chose a life of sacrifice. You chose to wear a uniform, knowing full well what that meant and all the sacrifices it entailed, because you experienced it with your dad and your brother was in the military. But you did it anyways, and you served honorably with humility and heart. And I remember attending your retirement, thinking, finally, you can take a break, relax a little bit as opposed to grinding and working. But you didn't. You kept on going. You worked hard. Even despite your health decline, you continued to work. So when I asked you why, you could have just relaxed, but you continued to work. You said, it's for my family, for my kids. And that made perfect sense. I never asked you since. To Jessica and your beautiful children, please know he loved you with everything he had. He talked about you constantly. You guys were his world. He could have retired, taken it easy, lived an easy life somewhere, but he kept working, and it was for you guys. He kept on telling me that. That's the kind of man he was. I know we're all struggling to make sense of what happened. I am still. You faced so much, and I truly believed, despite all the health issues you had, that you would pull through. You always seemed invincible to me, but unfortunately, none of us are invincible. And maybe God needed a doctor in heaven, one with your strength, your wisdom, your laugh, and your heart. And there was no better person to do the job than you. Well, I can count the number of friends I have on one hand. You are one of them. Losing you leaves a hole, a void in my life that can't be filled. We should all grieve. That's the natural process of healing. But even in our grief, I know that Will would want all of us to shed tears, but also to laugh. He wouldn't want us to sorrow without gratitude. He wants us to remember all the good times we had together. We all individual memories together. His military family, his ukulele family, his brothers, mom and dad, talked about you guys often. And in return, that's what I'll do. You will. I'll carry those memories with me always. I'll carry you with me, just like you carried many of us through the years. Well, rest easy. You've more than earned it.
Hi, I'm Will's friend Ray. I met Will in 2020 for his national game, and I came and set up a dinner. Ashley Furniture, OC That's how we all met, and we all stayed friends to this day. Back last year, a bunch of us had COVID. I also strummers, and that is Keith, Will, Bob, and Patty. And to this day, we are the coolest strummers we can ask. Will was my go-to. A lot of people. Really hard. I just hope that we won't keep Will twice. Oh, just come on. Has it changed? Move it out. Look here. And we shared some very strong regret. We seem to get oh, strength. We were praying. Share things for you. I saw you in my dream. We were walking, leaves in hand, bottom water, you tell me that you make it feel like singing well, just singing loud. That's what makes it feel good, just sing right out. Be a part of it all. We can work it out. We are friends, friends, friends. We are friends, friends, friends. Friends, friends, friends. We are friends. Flying over Canada, singing to my soul. There's people out there turning music into gold. People out there turning music into soul. People out there turning music into gold. I saw you.
Moses is gonna play an Irish song for us on his ukulele. Thank you for doing that.
So, I'm Moses from I'm from out east. I'm not sure if I'm the furthest that came, but I happened to be in Hawaii at the time. And so it was very easy for me to lay over because I was flying through LA anyways, lay over for 2 days and stop to say farewell to Bill. I've only known him a couple of years, and both Cynthia and Will, and it's mostly through the music. And there's a tune that's at the time to Cynthia. I said, well, don't know if you wanted me to play or what was the expectation. And I was here to do the military farewell to Will because of my own service. But this song is a 14th century Irish tune. Actually, the Irish stole it from the English. And the way it goes is that it's called Parting Glass. And the original story behind it was a host of a dinner with all of his guests would drink the last glass of wine before they left with each guest. And then, so over the years, around 1800, the Scottish heard of it and started playing it at weeks. And then it was the Irish, and then I heard a very well done rendition, and I heard this story where it goes back to 1400. Done by the Wailing Jennies out of Canada. And it goes something like this. Of all the money that ever I spent it in good time. Of all the fun that ever I've done, but alas, it was to none but me. And all I wish for one to flit to memories now I can't recall. So fill with me my parting glass. Good night and joy be to you all. So fill to me the parting glass and drink a health, whatever befalls, and gently rise and softly calls. Good night and joy be to
I'm going to be going ahead and reading Wilbur's obituary, and then we'll be having a parting view and dismissing here in a few moments and preparing to go to Riverside National Cemetery. Those of you that wish not to view, either you can just go straight through the door or just let my staff know, and they'll allow you to go out the back. Dr. Wilbert Gloria Peralta passed away on July 7th, 2025 at the age of 61 in Edgemont, Oklahoma. Will lived a life of service to others, retiring as a lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force after 25 years of honorable service as an internal medicine physician. After retirement from the military, he continued working in order to use his skills and medical knowledge to help others. His military and professional accomplishments are too numerous to list, but his work lives on in the countless lives that he touched along the way. In recent years, Will became very involved in the ukulele community. He would spend time making music and memories with friends that shared the aloha spirit that he held so dear from his time living in Hawaii. Will had a huge heart. He supported and took care of others many times before himself. Countless friends and family have shared stories of how he supported them in their time of need. Will both loved and was loved deeply by those fortunate enough to know him. He will be missed and remembered with the love and gratitude. His impact on this world was profound, and his loss is far too soon. Leaves a hole in so many hearts. May we fill that hole and honor his memory by continuing his life of service and caring for others in his name. Will is survived by his wife, Jessica, his children, Dylan, Sydney, Hannah, Sarah, Alexis, Erica, Natalia, and Nathan. His brothers, Freddie and his wife, Michelle, and Henry and his wife, Gina. His sister, Jane, and his mother, Anita, as well as many friends that were as close as family. He was preceded in death by his father, Francisco, and he's going to be buried today out at Riverside National Cemetery with honors near his father, Francisco Peralta, at Riverside National Cemetery. So if you'll, at this time, please remain seated, and we'll be dismissing from the foyer and then from the back. We will be going to Riverside National Cemetery. We do have motor escorts, so we ask that you turn on your high beams as well as your flashers if you're going in the procession, so that your vehicle can be identified. Thank you so much on behalf of the family for coming today and showing your love and support. It truly means the world to them. Continue to remember them, not only today, but in the upcoming days, weeks, and months. Thank you so much for coming.
Well,